Wolfpack, we have assembled our 2021 roster for League of Legends. I've gone ahead and interviewed all 5 players and our coach Farmer and asked them some simple questions so we can get to know them before the 2021 season starts. Cupcake, you've been with the Wolfpack for a long time. You're a veteran. You have developed so much over the past 3 years, but what is something that sets you apart from the rest? What is your greatest strength?
I would pride myself on game knowledge the most. It's something that I've always worked really hard on in terms of like macro and mid game and just little things that can help the team work better together. So yeah, I'd say game knowledge, but a lot of people say leadership for me. So maybe that's a close second as well.
Now, Cupcake, you've got these great strengths, but everyone has a flaw. What is something this year that you really want to improve on?
I want to work on like my patience and play into the actual game state, because oftentimes I get a little bit impatient and I think that the map should be in a different state than it is, and then I overreach and just get punished. So if the pieces aren't all in place together, then I want to, accept reality and just play it slow. So I would say that's something I really want to work on, just making sure that I stay patient and play smart.
You said you want to play patient and smart, but your playstyle, Andy, Cupcake, has been really, really unique for a long time to the OPL. You are known as a leader. People respect you as a leader. So for 2021, what is the spice you bring to the table? What is the leadership you bring into the Wolfpack?
I would say a relentless competitive drive. I'm not gonna let anyone, second guess or take it slow or autopilot. We're just gonna keep on going forwards and constantly improve. I'm gonna make sure of that.
Cupcake, it sounds like you're gonna take care of the Wolfpack and the rest of your teammates. But speaking of the rest of your teammates, we've got Shock, and I'm just gonna kick it off with you, Shock, the same way I did with Cupcake. You have been part of the Wolfpack for a while as well. What is your greatest strength you've developed over the past few years?
Biggest strengths of the player is definitely in the laning phase. I think even last year, I was pretty far above the next mid laner in terms of laning, so I expect to have that strength going for me this year too.
Now, to me, Shock, it does make sense for you to be one of the best mid laners in the region, if not the best, which, I believe you. But everyone's fallible. What is something that you learned last year that you really, really, really should improve on for 2021? What is going to be the difference for you this year?
I think actually in the past, a problem I've had is diverting too much from my style, being too much of a team player, or too willing to change what I prioritize to match the team. Whereas I feel like a lot of times I should have been really kind of resolute in my opinion and what I want to happen. So I think that's something I really want to happen this year.
Are we gonna see some Zillion?
No, I'm sorry, Zillion sucks.
As sad as I am to hear that there's gonna be no Zillion, Shock, we've put together a roster that's pretty unique. We've got Claire role swap in the top, we've got Cupcake returning as our vet, and we've got Kevy, a young solo queue superstar, and we've got Gunkrab and Farmer. But yourself, what makes you a very, very unique player to the Wolfpack? What differentiates you from the rest of the pack?
So I think I bring to the team a lot of consistency and strength from the mid lane. I think I am the best mid laner in OS, and I think having that strength in the middle of the map is really important. As for what people think of me, I think a lot of people do think of me as a consistent player, but I've never been able to achieve that title, so I'd really like to change that this year.
Well, Shock, on your way to prove that you are the most consistent player for the Wolfpack, we've also got someone who is going to help you on that journey. We've got Coach Farmer. Farmer, welcome, and I gotta ask you, you've just role swapped to a coach. What is your greatest strength going to be for us as a coach?
I pride myself on identifying a team's identity. I feel like that's been my strength when I've done well on teams in the past, and I think I attribute a lot of my success last year. We still managed to make it pretty far just based off of understanding how we won. I would say that's my biggest strength.
I want to get to know a little bit more about you, Farmer, for everyone else. What is the number one thing that makes you different to the rest of these players? Like, all of these guys you're coaching have played in the OPL and you haven't. So I'm interested, what makes you different and how are you going to help these guys grow?
I would say I bring a different perspective to the players on the team. I wouldn't say that in my career as a player, I won games based off of my personal ability or my teammates' ability per se, but more so pushing the limits of how a team can function together given their weaknesses. I think that's where my difference in perspective might come in, just to remind the players that they don't have to win off individual performance. It's more of a team game to really push that. I think that's probably how I fit in best at the moment.
Farmer, I know the team's going to improve under your wing. You've got your head screwed on and you spoke about pushing the team further. And I think this next person is someone that you're going to get very, very close to over the year, because we've got Claire, the man who's role swapped to top lane. So Claire, as everyone else has started off with, I'm just going to ask you, you're role swapped, but you still got a lot of strengths from being in the OPL ever since it started. So mate, what is your biggest strength as a player for the Wolfpack?
I feel like since I've been in the scene for such a long time, I have a lot of experience. The whole time I've been playing in the OPL, I've always been a top 3 mid laner, so I think I can translate like some of that skill to the top lane, so I think I'll be a big benefit for the Direwolves.
I mean, you mentioned how you're able to translate your strengths as a player around roles, but obviously it's not easy, so what's going to be your biggest struggle for 2021?
I think this one's probably a no-brainer, but since I am role swapping, it's going to take me a while to get used to the role. I think there's a lot you have to learn, like, fundamentally. So even if I know how to play like a team fight out with a certain champ, or I know how to play the champ mechanically in top lane, there's a lot about the laning that you need to figure out and like fix first. If you can't figure out laning, then the rest of the game is so difficult, which is something I've experienced. So I'm definitely working on learning how to play my lane, as opposed to like just perma pushing mid for prio every game.
I'm interested to see your transition to top lane, Claire. I'm sure you'll put the work in, but it's going to be a tough one. And now I've got to ask my favorite question that I've asked everyone else, and this one is very evident for yourself. Everyone on the team is a unique player, Claire, and you're no exception. So what makes you unique to the team this year?
I've been here from the start, so I feel like throughout all that time I've gained so much experience in terms of competitive play, like how to be a good competitive player, how to like adapt to the meta and have a good scrim environment, like practice efficiently, etc. But also I am experienced in the game. It's like knowing like what's good and what's not, just from like instinct and stuff. So I've played through so many patches and seasons. I think I have an easier time adapting to the meta and an easier time adapting to like competitive changes because I've been playing for so long.
I appreciate your time, Claire, and thank you for sharing your insights. Speaking of your insights, you've been around in the OPL for a long time, Claire, but now it is time to move on to our next guest, the ADC for the Direwolves this year, Guncrab. Welcome. And you're someone who's played in the OPL, Guncrab, but not as long as Claire. You're, I'd say, a middle-aged League of Legends player. So, Guncrab, I got to kick you off with, what is your biggest strength as a player for the Wolfpack?
I think one of my biggest strengths is that I am able to adapt to the meta really fast, and I'm also a very versatile player, so I'm able to pick up unconventional picks or strategies to use in games.
Even I've faced your unique picks in competition before, Guncrab. I want to talk about your improvements that you need to make for 2021, because you know you haven't been around for ages. You're not a dinosaur to the League of Legends, so you've always got things to improve on. What's something that you want to improve on for 2021?
Something I'd like to improve on that I haven't done so well in the previous years, to try and effectively work with my teammates and not just bring out the best in myself, but also bring out the best in like the rest of the team, and how we use our time in practice and outside of practice to, you know, min-max.
Something I want to get to know about you, Guncrab, that some people might not know is what makes you unique to the Wolfpack. What is the special sauce that you bring?
Similar to Claire, like I play a lot of roles. I understand a lot about other lanes and how they interact with each other and stuff. I bring in a bunch of random ideas because I play a lot of random champions who aren't picked as much. I guess I'm just a random player.
Mate, I agree with you wholeheartedly on the random player fact. I've versed you before, and yeah, you're a random player, but this player is not as random. He is the newest face to high-level competitive League of Legends in the Oceanic region. We've got Kevy, and Kevy, mate, we've played before. I know you. I want to get to know, what is your biggest strength as a player?
I guess my biggest strength would be like I'm really efficient and I go for like only high percentage plays. I try to just be really consistent.
So you talk about the consistency of your individual play, but for 2021, what is something that you want to improve on for yourself as a competitive player?
Having better synergy with my teammates. I think like having played like so much solo queue and so little competitive, like I've become sort of like a selfish player, you know? I feel like I have to like carry every game. But if I build trust with my teammates, have synergy like with base timings, you know, and like roaming with my support and things like that, I'll be a lot more of a better player.
I'm happy to see your team-oriented focus going into 2021, but you're an individual. You're unique to the team, and it's a team of 5 individuals playing as a unit. So what makes you unique as one of those individuals for the Wolfpack?
I guess since I haven't played in OPL, like I'll bring a fresh perspective to the squad. I think I came in later than all the people on my team, so like bringing my own perspective I think will work really well. I think that since I've played like a lot of like off-roll and things like that compared to other junglers, I understand a bit about lanes and like how things work, so I can give my opinion on that as well.
I've seen you play a lot of off-roll and solo queue, Kevin, and I know you're going to round out the team insanely well. But with that being said, we have spoken to every single person on the roster for 2021. So guys, I appreciate you all being here and wish us luck in 2021. Let's go Wolfpack.